What's up, what's up? It's a Spiracle, and welcome to Ceremony. This is an interactive fiction game done by Xander with art by Solomon Fletcher, as you can see here. This was described as a celebration of community between queer and disabled witches or magic-using people, so I'm excited about that. But it seemed really cute. Let's get into it. Meadow is 19. They live in a world of magic, mystical creatures, and strange happenings, one not unlike ours. There are many witches, warlocks, and magic folk in this world. Some of these magic folk are sick. Some of them got sick only recently. Some of them have been sick for a long time. Some of them have been sick for as long as they can remember. Some will get better. Some of them will not. Once a month, Meadow and their friends gather together. Some of Meadow's friends are very busy, or very sick, but they work with each other to congregate and be together for just one day out of the month, for a very important ritual. Today, Meadow is preparing for this ritual. Sometimes they hold this ritual at the beach, sometimes at abandoned buildings, sometimes at each other's houses if one of them isn't feeling well enough to leave the house. Today, it will be a nearby wood. Meadow prepares for the gathering, laying out their outfit choices. They're trying to decide between a pale green sweater that is slightly big on them and a flowy lavender coat. Honeydew the sweater. Meadow puts on the green sweater. The sweater is large and old and well-loved. It's a bit ragged and has some holes in it, but it comforts them and fills them with fond memories. They hobble to the bathroom to put on some makeup. Meadow sponges soft colors and shimmering pigments onto their face. Once they feel satisfied, they meander back to their bedroom and begin tying flowers they had picked earlier today to their cane. This cane is very special to them. They need it because they have difficulty walking, but it's special because shortly after they got it, Meadow's friend Echo helped them cast a spell on it so that it could be easily transformed into a flying broomstick whenever Meadow needed. That's cool. Meadow grabs a bag and heads to the kitchen. On their way there, they feel something furry brush against their legs. Mayor? It's Meadow's familiar Henry, weaving between their legs and demanding attention. Henry is a snuggly and outgoing feline, if a bit rough around the edges. He's well aware of tonight's adventure and seems to be excited himself. I want to know about the kitty. Meadow bends over and pets Henry before reaching onto the shelf and grasping for something. When they bend back down to Henry's level, they reveal a Saturn collar with a moon charm attached to it. Henry bellows in approval. Meadow wraps the collar around his neck and fastens the buckle. Henry purrs and snuggles against their wrists. I'm glad you like it, Henry. Meadow gets back to their original task in the kitchen. Opening the cabinet and looking around, Meadow grabs a bottle of cheap wine. They shuffle things around a bit more, finding a bundle of sage, a bouquet of lavender, a baggie of catnip, a few sprigs of rosemary, and a small plastic container of turmeric, tossing each into the bag. Did you know that turmeric is really good for your liver? I've been eating a lot of it. Grabbing their cane, they open the door and saunter out, Henry scampering behind them. They secure their bag onto their back and mount their cane. Oh, they're so cute! Meadow inhales and closes their eyes. Upon their exhale, the cane becomes a bristly-ended broom. It slowly levitates, Meadow's feet just barely off the ground, giving Henry enough time to leap up onto the broom's end. They're so cute! This art is adorable. Look at that kidder. That kind of looks like my cat. Or one of them. They soar above the trees, the world shrinking down below them. Brooms, once you get the hang of them, basically just drive themselves. Meadows is particularly used to autopiloting to just this spot. The broom cane slowly descends into a large clearing surrounded by tall redwoods and large boulders. Henry chirps and hops from Meadow's shoulders as the broom restores itself to its original cane form. Speaking of cats. It looks as though Meadow and Henry are the first ones here. Meadow begins to collect leaves and twigs while Henry chases a firefly around a clearing. Placing the leaves and twigs on the ground in front of them, inching forward little by little, Meadow slowly creates a large circle. They light the bundle of sage and place it at on a large boulder in the center of the circle. They sit on the ground for a moment to rest. Before long, footsteps can be heard in the distance. Meadow raises their head and sees the familiar eyeliner-smeared face of Echo. He waves silently, a brown tail swaying back and forth behind his legs. As he approaches, the smell of cheese and oregano and tomato fill the air. Pizza? Echo offers a hand to Meadow, helping them up. Would you like a hug? Echo asks quietly. Meadow nods and his arms encircle their body. The two hold each other tightly for a long time. Inhaling, exhaling. When they release each other, Echo removes a canvas backpack from his shoulders and places it on the ground. He lives near here and wanders these woods a lot. How are you doing? Meadow asks. He looks down at his feet, Henry weaving around his ankles. It's been hard lately, Echo says, his voice shaking a bit. When he raises his head, his gaze finally meeting Meadow's, he softly utters, "But I'm really glad I'm here." Echo's been struggling a lot recently. He recently got out of an abusive relationship and is still processing that and dealing with the repercussions. He's often very anxious. Meadow's been doing what they can to support him. They begin to speak again, but are interrupted by a howling wind and rustling in the trees. A large, shadowy, rectangular object floats just above the treetops in the distance, getting closer and closer. As the dark object gets closer, its intricate patterns become more visible, detailed wooden swirls and carved floral patterns. It appears to be a bed frame. The bed hovers above the clearing, the plants and flowers breezily billowing below it as it lands. Echo and Meadow approach the large bed. A raven-haired woman in a drapey white dress reclines in the bed with a friendly smile. How's it going, you two? Her eyes glow as she speaks. Great, good, the two say, their replies stumbling over each other. The woman reaches her hands up for a hug, and Echo reaches down to gently embrace her, Meadow following in suit. How are you doing, Dari? Echo coos, his soft eyes glancing down at her. I'm well, thank you, she says cheerfully. Jari is a very powerful witch who's been sick for a very long time. She often cannot leave her bed. Sometimes she gets help from a home care worker, but over the course of many years she's learned how to levitate objects, including her bed. That's badass! Can you just imagine, like, floating your bed through a McDonald's drive-thru and being like, listen, bitch. This is my only form of transportation, and you better give me a McDouble or I swear to God, I will turn you into a frog. I brought you something, Meadow. Dari holds up two shining stones. One is green, and the other of us is a silvery black. Pick one. I want the silvery black one. Meadow picks up the shiny black stone. Its weight feels comforting, and they squeeze it in their hand. Hematite! Yay! Oh man, I love using crystals and stones and stuff. I haven't done it in a while, but I find it useful. This stone will bring you confidence and protection. That's one I don't have. I wonder if the other one is aventurine. But I guess I wouldn't find out until I redid the thing. But I think I'll leave that to you guys. So you can go back and explore all the routes that I did not explore. Thank you, Dari. It's beautiful. And for you, Echo. She pulls a sachet out from under her pillow and places it into his hands. There's a note inside which he removes and reads silently. Hey guys, a voice says. Nobody heard Chandra and Ren approach. They're a couple known for seemingly appearing out of thin air. Chandra is holding a leash attached to a vest harness worn by a large Cerberus. The vest says, "Service dog, do not pet." Hello. Waffles as a trained service dog. Waffles the Cerberus? Oh my god! He helps Chandra with her balance and also alerts her of impending seizures. He's good at his job and is a great pal. Chandra wastes no time, placing a bag on the ground and removing several golden chalices and a half-empty bottle of whiskey. Henry slinks over to sniff the Cerberus's large paws. Two of the heads pant and one licks the top of the little cat's head. Chandra's winged eyeliner is so sharp and fierce it's surely pierced the flesh of 1,000 enemies. She smirks and places her arm around Ren's shoulder. She leans in and kisses her on the cheek. Ren smiles widely and blushes, tucking her hair behind her ear. Sorry we're a bit late, Ren says, passing out flowers. Oh my god! Waffles is adorable! Look at that precious baby! And that's Chandra? I love her. Look at her makeup, though! It's so sparkly! Like, damn, she is fashion forward. I love it. This is wonderful. I love this story. Oh, man. The group sits in a circle, catching up and exchanging compliments on one another's outfits. Like I just did with Chandra. They each take a chance and fill each other's cups with... Or take a chalice, rather. Take a chance. And fill each other's cups with wine and hibiscus nectar, their cups overflowing, sometimes out of clumsiness and sometimes with complete intention. They share sips from the bottle of whiskey. Echo takes a plastic Ziploc of cold pizza slices to share, which Henry immediately starts begging for, yowling loudly until he receives its own slice. Be careful with that. Cats can't have garlic. Once they've had their fill, they all join hands or reach for a shoulder if a hand is too shaky or strained. They all quietly exchange smiles and glances at one another from across the circle. Ren softly sings something improvised, but completely natural. Dari harmonizes with her, their voices twisting into one another, growing louder and rising above the trees. Cool. Chandra raises her chalice. This ceremony is a celebration. A ritual to remember the beauty and magic and strength within each of us. A rite to glorify and exalt one another. Because we are powerful together. Because we are powerful individually. Because we're worth it. Because we deserve it. The ceremony is a celebration, a gathering of friends, lovers, and comrades. Because we don't want to become too busy for each other. Because we care about each other. Because we will not let another sick friend be forgotten or isolated. Because this chosen family and our togetherness is a part of our survival. The ceremony is a celebration, the anniversary of us surviving another month, a recognition of the triumph that is our continued survival, an acknowledgement of the fight we win every day. Cool! And that's the end! Man, that was awesome! It was short, but it was really sweet. I loved how they took extra care to, like, describe, in a respectful way, like, what everybody in the group is going through, and it's basically a support group. And support groups, if any of my queer followers, I know there's like 95 of you now, which is amazing. If any of my followers are queer themselves, which I imagine most of you are, and you're struggling with that, if there is a support group in your immediate area, I highly recommend it. Like, one run and populated by queer people. Or, like, because, like, I go to a trans support group, and that's run by trans people. It's really useful. It can really help you, like, find your bearings, no matter what's going on in your life. And, like, I seriously recommend it, because it is like this ceremony. It ends up being a time of celebration and a time of just banding together and understanding what each other is going through. And that's amazing. But I'll go ahead and call it here. I mean, it's the end of the story. There are a couple of other routes if you wanted to go in and take a look at those, see things that I did not see. I don't know if choosing the green or the purple outfit fundamentally changes it. I mean, it would change the art, which would be really cute, and I imagine that would be entirely worth seeing. But thank you guys so much for watching and for checking me out. I will leave the link to this story and the developer information I could find in the description, and I hope you have a great week. Later!